there's a variety of southbound connectors. The ones in blue you see are built into Anylog, so we can communicate directly to Kafka, uh, Google's RPC, syslog, a REST API, MQTT, as well as OPC-UA. This is a new one that we just added a couple of weeks ago. Um, we also support third-party connectors. The most common ones are EdgeX, Telegraph, and Node-RED, and we'll go over examples of how to integrate those into Anylog or EdgeLake in a few moments. As well as other third-party edge software, things like Telit, um, and other third-party edge platforms that collect data can also feed data into Anylog or EdgeLake, and we'll show a little bit of examples about that. So what happens is that data is collected inside of a streaming service that feeds the data into the operator service, which pushes it into the local database. You can also go into the broker service. This is typically done on the MQTT side. And then you also can map that data leveraging policies that are stored into the blockchain. Yeah, so a southbound is typically how do you get data from IoT devices? So if I've got instrumentation, how do I get data from that instrumentation? There's two types of instrumentation devices, if you think about it from a big picture. One, you have intelligent instrumentation. You might have network connected sensors that have built-in MQTT to it. So they will actually communicate into an MQTT broker via network connection, and you retrieve the data that way. The other type of sensor are, dumb sensors. You see these a lot in the manufacturing side. These are sensors that are connected to programmable logic controllers or PLCs. And you have to pull that data from those sensors. So the southbound connectors is what protocols and mechanisms do I pull data from sensors? You notice at the bottom here are the native connectors, the ones that are built into EdgeLake. Those are MQTT, syslog, Kafka, gRPC, OPC-UA, and a REST web API. Then we support a variety of third-party connectors. Telegraph being one of the larger ones. Telegraph has over 100 southbound connectors, including Modbus, which is used quite a bit in the industrial and IoT space. So we leverage Telegraph quite a bit to query that data. And that uses the REST web API to push data into Anylog. Node-RED is another common IoT application that does flows and some logic around how you collect data, map data, and do other things. The Node-RED implementation also uses the REST web API to push data into Anylog. And then with the third-party connectors, like EdgeX, Telit, Siemens, Dynex, there's a variety of third-party connectors that can push data via MQTT or REST web API. So depending upon the third-party connector, you could leverage either one of those insertion methods to get data into Anylog.